Can I just, before council commence dealing with this item, let you know that the report on the agenda should be as being from the acting chief executive. So when you look at your report, it's incorrect what it says at the top. This report is from the acting chief executive, and that has been amended online.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Chair, regarding to this item, I have a question asked the staff.
Yeah. Oh, yes, sorry. So,
We don't have a staff. Yeah.
oh, I didn't think of that. Right, Jimmy Chen.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Ask the staff, what's the difference between the enhanced gravity soil system?
No, I'm sorry, Councillor. We're not going to have a question and answer session around the issue. This is simply a question around whether we transfer the decision making from the general manager to the committee of the whole. So that's the Earthquake Recovery Committee of the whole.
Okay, thank you.
Yanni Johansson.
Yeah, thank you. If you look at the report on page 270 of our agenda, we asked at the time that staff investigate an order in council or other regulatory intervention that can be made to enable community participation in the process. I don't see in this report, I see that we're told on page 251, 3.42 that it was investigated, but I actually don't see any explanation of what that investigation showed. And I think in terms of the process we go through to make the decisions, I'd like to have an understanding of what was investigated and what the options were.
Well, that's something that we can again deal with at the committee of the whole. Yes. When we, because I think there will be two stages. One is is a preliminary report, and secondly is the decision.
I note that one of the orders in council expired, and that staff have sought an extension. So,
sorry, what are you referring to?
On page 253, we were exempted from decision-making obligations in sections 77 and 79 of Local Government Act, but that's now expired, and that staff have sought an extension. So I think it is quite relevant if we can consider this matter at the committee of the whole. But I do think we need to be really clear about what is actually happening in terms of public consultation and involvement, and how that order in council actually affects it, given that we've already sought an extension.
Sorry, I didn't think that the order in council made any difference. I thought that was dealt with in the Bailey decision, but I could be wrong. Could you help, Ian?
Yes, I could. I mean, as you mentioned before, this report is purely to change the decision maker. I would anticipate that as part of the process going ahead from here, we will be giving you all the information, answer all your questions, and engage with the committee as a whole to clarify issues such as Councillor Johansson has raised.
So I'm clear. So previously the council could ignore the Local Government Act because the order in council...
No, the Bailey decision made it absolutely crystal clear that the urgency of the situation did not exempt the council from its obligations to consult with people under these circumstances. And the Bailey decision only affected that one individual, but as a council we are not going to stand by and have a piece of a judgment that only applies to one person not guide us in how we deal with people for whom the final decisions haven't yet been made.
You know, I agree with that. I guess maybe we need to get more of an explanation under the 4.2 comment from staff over what that whole section of this report actually means. I think that would be useful. So let's not get into it now.
No,
that's fine.
let's not get into it now. So I think we're all agreed on that. So there is an additional staff recommendation around the consultation process, but I would rather that we not deal with that we actually decide as a committee of the whole the appropriate consultation process, because I think that one of the problems is a loss of trust. So we want to re-establish trust with the council, and I think the community board's going to play a very important role in actually doing that. So I would like to put the recommendation that we resolve to revoke the delegation and give the decision-making authority instead to the committee of the whole council. Now, who would like to move that resolution? David East, seconded Glenn Livingston. I'll put the resolution. Jana Johansson.
Thank you. I will strongly support this resolution. At the time, I was in a minority view that this local decision making should actually go to the community boards in the local areas so that they could balance up the views of the residents and engage through normal local government processes around seeking community views, considering the options. Unfortunately, that wasn't agreed to, and we've now had the history that we've had. I strongly support it going to the committee of the whole. I think as a governance group, these are decisions that have huge impacts on local community, and it is about the loss of local democracy that some have felt has been one of the reasons for the downfall of how this situation has arisen. So I hope when we consider it at the committee of the whole, and I am encouraged by the comments that were made by the Mayor, that we'll actually talk about how the community boards can also be a useful tool in the decision-making process, given that they do represent many of these local areas. So I urge you to support this. I think it sends a really clear signal about a new approach that the new council is taking in engaging with and collaborating with our communities.
David East.
Thank you, councillors, Mayor. I also would like to encourage fellow councillors to support this motion, and I also am very confident that we are going to engage in a good consultative process with our local community to ensure, as they say in their letter to us today, that a decision is made in full after detailed consultation with the community and all the information is available. So I think it's a good outcome, and I think we all need to support it. Thank you.
Okay. Right, I'll put the resolution. All those in favour say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. That is carried. Thank you very much.
Thank you.